find out if this thing is working. Can you guys hear my microphone? It has been so long since we last streamed, but we are doing it again and I'm pretty excited. Something's a little different though. I don't have any paint set up. How rude is that? Oh, awesome, you can hear me. Morning Black Sword, Aaron, VT. Oh, we got Standman Me, Arjack, Aaron. What an absolute lineup. I've only just hit record and you guys are already in here. That's so awesome. Well, you best start bombarding me and telling me how you guys are. And I'll read through some of those, but I'll give you an idea of what's coming up today. Because I don't have any paints. Instead, I've got a whole bunch of tools. And my goal is to start building a model. And then throughout the week, be able to do some painting with you as well on a stream. Yeah. So Tim will see this later and get proper excited because I reckon we tackle his model today and we start doing some Age of Sigmar. Nothing in the box because I'm so prepared. But some things we're going to chat to you about today, I made a little list because I'm really dorky and I love to plan, is we'll chat about the VIP painting competition that this relates to, the return to streaming because it's been over a year, what I've been working on lately, what you guys are working on because that's more exciting than what I'm doing. What's to come on the channel, we'll chat about how the channel's changed since we last streamed, and talk about the podcast which is on the way as well. Now I should probably move the chat somewhere more central. There we go. So I'm not always looking off to the side. But some housekeeping issues for today. It is about, it's going to get to 38 degrees, I reckon, at home, which is 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the Freedom Money. So it's going to warm up pretty quick in here with all my lights, cameras. My pooch is thoroughly unimpressed. You've met my dog before. I've got the great big green screen behind me and she is just plonked on the floor holding it up. So there is every chance that she's going to knock over the display. Stuff's going to go everywhere, but it's going to be worth it. All right. And so Black Sword, you're on the same time as me. It's -2 here. Oh, now is that proper cold because it's Celsius or is that all right because it's Fahrenheit? And also let me know where in the world you are, VT. Cool. So the first thing I noticed when I opened this model is get a load of that base that it's going to sit on. Tim is an absolute menace. So if I take something for scale that we know, which is the Citadel glue, check that out. This base is massive. So it's like pie plate territory. And I said to Tim, I'm like, let's just try and scale everything down because the VIP is getting out of hand. Let me bring that camera back online. There we go. And he gave me a whole bunch of models that he liked the look of. And he elected to go for something huge anyway. Celsius, so kind of fresh. Yeah, that's proper fresh. 100mm base? Probably. I do have rulers, I'm just being lazy. I'd have to get the one with inches and centimeters. So that I don't upset anyone. Sweet Moses. So 15, so 6 inches. What? No jokes. Cool. So I've got myself prepped. And for this model, it is awesome tree lady that is riding a giant bug. She's going to be really finicky and unlikely if I do that bit while on stream. I'll break the wings and I'll cry and I'll break the spear. So I might try and do that one when I don't have the pressure of the camera and the microphone and everything. But the bug we might try and start on, and that way I can get it primed today and then maybe some airbrushing or some painting tomorrow with you guys. So it comes on 2 sprues, 2 huge sprues. We have one which is largely going to be her parts by the look of it. And then the second that we have is Great Big Kahuna Bug, which almost looks like the Horospex or something from the Tyranids. So that also jimmied my jams. you have the grid overlay on the camera. Oh, there you go. So I'll see if I can turn that off. It'll be in the camera settings, which is a pain. Stand with me. I'll try out my Be Right Back screen while I do that. There we go. Is that better? That's alright, Black Sword. You're all good. It'll end up looking a lot cooler at the end if it has worked. If it hasn't, then I don't know what to tell you. Cool. I'll wait for the first comment to come through and tell me if it's worked or not. But other than that, yes, you are right. I'm 100% just trying to survive the heat at the moment. What do you guys got for me? All deciding what to start next. Yeah. Awesome. All right. I'm going to set up my instructions and dive straight in because I should probably make some progress today if I'm going to get this model painted. Yeah, grid is gone. White square's still up, but hey, it's all good. Ah, there you go. How can one man be so handsome and love painting 40k? Hello, Stephanie. Good morning, wherever you are in the world. All right. 20 and 21 is what gets me started. Now, tell me what you guys are working on. If you've got hobby time today, I want to know what each of you are chipping away at. And you're going to tell me all about it because you're going to help entertain me as well. Now, I take ages to build models, and you're going to see that today. In my head, I'm like, oh, I'll try and fly through it a little so they don't realize how slow I am. But no, I am proper slow. Yeah, so Black Sword, you're working on your kill team models. And they were, I think you've got about a half dozen that you're chipping away at. And I didn't have a very close look at them. Are they all intercessors or how does it work in a kill team box? I imagine you get a little bit of variety, otherwise you'd just be fielding the same thing over and over. Chaos Knight! Ah, awesome. So Stephanie, you're in Melbourne as well. Yes, I was avoiding streaming purely because of the heat was my biggest issue. So it's early in the morning and it is already proper hot here. But everything lined up nicely because my pooch kicked me out of bed at 6 o'clock this morning and my wife has work. So we decided that I'd get up, take her for a Zoom. And then that just freed up my entire day because we'd somehow managed about an hour and a half of exercise and fitness and walking her and getting the zoomies out. So we were able to then free up all this time for streaming once I dropped the tiny little humans off at school. 6 models this month. Awesome. Yeah. I'm just reading through the chat so I can get an idea of what you guys are working on as well. So VT, you're working on a texture base. Amazing. Yeah, mold lines is going to kill me. I'm half tempted to like ignore most of the mold lines just to keep progress this morning and then come back and get them later. But someone will roast me. I know it. So I'll try and do it nice and neat. Matt, so the starter said intercessors, assault intercessors, heavy. Oh, that's actually a really cool way, even if you're not going to play Kill Team or play 40k, but you want to paint some models, is you get a whole bunch of variety in your Kill Team starter set. Assault intercessors. Yeah, mad. That's actually a really cool way to get some cheeky space marines. Give me 2 secs. I'm going to grab an extra tool that I don't have in front of me. And as expected, that is proper cute. On the other side of the green screen is my pooch, and she is basically holding up the green screen on the other side, and she's thoroughly unimpressed that I've cut off access to her bed, even though she can get through. And the tool that I said I needed was tissues, because I'm going to use a whole bunch of glue, and I'm going to make a mess, so I'm going to see if I can clean up as I go. Think Balacor with a wall-mounted floating base. That is sick. That is mad. I can't wait to see that. Alright, what have I done so far? I've cut out one piece. I might even move my instructions to this side. I love this setup. And what can I chat to you guys about? Let's chat about the VIP painting series and what it is as well as I stall and try and work out the next piece, number 21. This thing is huge. And you mentioned as well the idea of using the colour shift paints, which I love. I was chatting about that with one of my boys. We went to a hobby shop the other day in Melbourne. And he was checking out all those like Chameleon, Green Stuff World, those style of colour shifts. Which we have at home as one of those things where he's like, buy it, Dad, buy it. I'm like, we've already got it. Leave me alone. But it'd look awesome. So you do like a really glossy black base coat, and then as you spray the color shift over the top, it just looks a lot nicer. I've done that before, mainly just testing models, but there's probably one or two. My orc buggies. So if you've seen my orc buggies on Instagram, I think almost each of those has a color shift paint, because there was like hot rods, and I'm not even going to try and remember all the names, like the Boomdacker Snazwagon is in there somewhere. You coming around, girl? She's thinking about it. But yeah, the only issue I have is it looks kind of cool, but then I find there's no real room to maneuver once I've put that on. It's like the whole beetle will just be that color. I don't know if I can then go in really and glaze with acrylics or do edge highlights or do little beetle spots and things like that. I'll give it some thought. Tim's given me an idea of how he wants the bug to look color-wise. But also, rule of cool, he's given me that freedom just to play around and see what I can come up with. Yeah, they would look amazing on a night, those color shift paints. You're going to see me fumble my way through like a horrible jigsaw, because the pressure's on when you're recording and I won't even get bits in the right spot. So feel free to laugh at me as I go. Yeah, color shift paints. I'm definitely going to consider it for this model, because on a beetle like this, it would look amazing. And then having her on top in those light colors could be really cool. Like a contrast of the dark beetle, shiny, and then her like lots of pale whites and blues and things like that. All right, I should probably commit to using some glue. So this is part of the VIP painting commission, which I should probably spruik a little, even though each of you in here already know what it is. We have a Discord. The Discord is amazing, and the people watching right now are Discord members. So guys, thank you so much. But every second month, we have a painting competition on the channel. And the word competition is probably a bit strong in the sense that we're not competitive at all with it. The idea is to progress our hobby journey and just have fun, support each other, try out a new technique or get through your backlog, whatever it is for you. So there's no set model that you need to work on. And rather than a voting system and a winner based on the merits of painting like you'd normally get, our winner is drawn at random using the Discord wheel, which is a lot of fun and gives everyone the same opportunity to win. And that way, we're all about beginner painters, because it's exactly what I am as well. I'm still learning heaps in my painting. So I certainly don't want anyone to feel that they need to be painting at some crazy high standard to be able to enter a painting competition. So ours is designed to be friendly, winners drawn at random. And as the months have gone by, we've been doing this for over a year now. So there's been 6 or 7 of the painting competition that have been held. Each time there's been a few more prizes. Sponsors have been amazing. We have a dedicated sponsor for it, which is Proxy Wargaming. They're a company in Australia that have the license to distribute a whole bunch of awesome models. They can be proxy models for your different games, like Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, anything like that. Talented designers create the minis, and then they go on the website for you to be able to buy. But they also offer a printing service, so 3D printing, which is how I came across them. I didn't own any 3D printers, and I obviously wanted to get a whole bunch of custom parts and awesome models. So I reached out. They were lovely. They discovered they were making these videos. And so as a result, they now provide for every second month, the winner gets a whole bunch. Oh my God, Austin is here. Hello, mate. Hello, Prince of Crows. I was a bit nervous, but here you are. So, yeah, now they include a whole bunch of models that I get to post out to someone anywhere in the world, so it doesn't matter where you live. I'll be able to organise postage to get to you. I say that, someone will turn up in the Arctic region and will really challenge me. So I'll hire myself some sled dogs. I've been watching Outdoor Boys, so I'm not intimidated by that at all. Hello, mate. Chris, hello. Thank you. You say you love the channel. Amazing. I love your support. Can you share what you use to record your painting? Absolutely, I can. Everything was started on a fairly moderate budget and nothing has changed because the channel is still in the red. But what I use, I picked up a secondhand DSLR camera off eBay, I think I got it, or one of my local like Facebook Marketplace sort of things. So it's a Canon EOS 2 D2, something like that. So anyway, it's a Canon that cost me about 500 or 400 Aussie dollary dues. So for the US, maybe 250 to 300. So that is the camera that's up top. And this, when I record my videos, is what you will normally see. So I have that one overhead. When you're asking this as well, I should probably ask, are you looking at recording for content creation yourself? Because I'll chat about some of that for you as well, and tips and tricks. Stephanie, yes, I'm going to ARC 40K. I'm just waiting to work out what days I can get there. So I won't compete in any of the comps. Instead, I'm probably going to take my tiny humans and just let them explore, let them off the leash, and I'll run around with them and we'll just probably buy a whole bunch of toys, but hopefully meet people as well, because I know a few of us are going. So opportunity to catch up for a coffee would be so good. Unless you turn around and go, no, I'm not going, I don't want to see you. Like, damn. But yeah, so the camera is a DSLR Canon. That's the one that you see in my videos that sits overhead. And what I will do, I've got just a standing monitor mount. So picture if you're sitting in an office desk and they have one of those great big beams that sort of connect to the back of your desk. And then there's a crossbar and then the camera just drops down. I found a couple of YouTube videos that talk about basic ways that you can set it up. So I have that. I have a lamp off to the side and a lamp overhead. Nothing crazy, just clean sort of light pointing down. And then as the channel continued, after about a year, I bought the exact same camera again, secondhand, and nothing changed. I just set up all the settings to be exactly the same as this one, and that then sits off to the side. So you'll see in my videos I'll be painting and it'll be me sitting here. Oh, check out this brush. Paint, 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 paint. And then it'll cut from camera 2. And that's just because I've got another one sitting off to the side. But at least for the first year or so I didn't. I just used the one camera and would move it around. Oh, hello Mel. Ashala, how are you? Yeah, big beetle today. I'll see how much of it I can get done because you caught me monologuing. Piece 1 of beetle. And Mel, that's exactly why I'm not trying to build the chick. The Sylvaneth lady with the spear riding the beetle. Because there's a lot of small parts in there that I think I'll cause myself some grief if I try that on stream. So I'm sticking to the big fumbly parts for my nervous hands. Oh my god, Stephanie, if you see me at ARC 40K, can you please come introduce yourself so I can say thanks? Because I do see you pop up in the comments and obviously in the stream as well. So that'd be unreal to get to meet some of you guys. Because I forget that people see this. It sounds dumb. And that's why streaming's so good, is I actually get to interact with you. But I'll sit at home, I will paint, I'll put together a video, I put it up online, and it will say that it gets views, but it's weird that if I then actually see someone who says, hey, I know who you are, that's really cool. I'm like, oh my god, someone in person who puts a face to them that has seen it. So yeah, I would love to say hi and grab a coffee. Yes, Black Sword, I'm hoping to see you there. So I'm going to low-key stalk you until I think you've got your ticket, and then I'll buy mine for the same day. And then I'll sit off in the car park and wait till you walk in, and then I'll casually follow you in and pretend to bump into you by accident. All right, the next piece, number 24. Quit stalling. If any Simpsons fans in here, you'll hear me drop in Simpsons quotes all the time. What I should do is just hold it like this and then ask you guys where the piece is. I've already done that piece. 22 and 23 I need. I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, the VIP painting commission series thing. It's not actually a commission because no one's paying me. I guess the joke is just that you get to name something and I'll paint it for you. So I'm tipping everyone here is aware of it. But we're up to... This has got to be about model number 6. We had Arjax Deathwatch Terminator Captain. We had the bust of Horace Lupercal, brother, which was the first bust I'd ever painted. So stepping outside the 28mm scale, which was terrifying. We had, for Austin, the Forge World, curse you for picking Forge World, of Gavriel Loken and Abaddon the Despoiler, duking it out. That was cool, but that was frightening to post overseas, such fragile Forge World. What else have we had? We had the Tau Commander battlesuit. We had... There's got to be something else in there. I always try and claim that Tiny's Knight is part of it, but that's just because he pressured me so much that if he won, that he was going to pick the Chaos Knight, so I just caved. We've had Vidar, who has won, but his model still hasn't arrived. It is on proper back order from everywhere in Australia. So I've ordered it. It's paid for. We're just waiting for it to turn up. Josh, Simpsons fan, thank you. Feel free to drop a Simpsons quote in and I'll see if I can pick the episode that it's come from without cheating. Oh, cool. Stephanie, no, I'm not going to take part in the tournament, but hopefully someone in here is. What else have we got? Farsight looks... Oh, hello, Niall. Thank you, mate. Or Neil, sorry. Yes, that Farsight was so much fun to paint. And I love that you went with the comic book style because I'd never painted like that and that was so nerve-wracking. Alright, so Beetle, lay him out this way. And then I'm meant to be adding these parts. You know when there's like parts like this and they're clearly meant to go on one side and the other and you should cut them out one at a time and match the numbers and then put it on? I never do it. So I hope someone's in the similar boat to me so I don't feel as bad. And I chopped off one of the bits I wasn't meant to chop off because I wasn't paying attention. But it's salvageable. Let me have a look. Pointing that way goes on this side. So this should go in here. You guys can just ignore me for a second while I try and work this out. Chat amongst yourselves. Aha. It works. Has anyone in chat painted this model before? Or even built this model before? Without even looking up yet, I'm going to guess no. It feels like a great big beautiful model, but fairly obscure. For everyone to own. Like, even if you own this particular faction. It's like getting Mortarion. Or a great big Primarch. Yep. That you sort of work your way up to treating yourself to this. And it's really intimidating. Like, Tim picked it, and I was very hesitant. Not only because it's going to take me ages to do, thanks Tim, but this looks like a really tricky model to paint and build. Ooh, piece of candy. That is when, okay, Homer's parked in the garage, he's going through and he's picking up bit by bit, and Bart has set up a trap, and it's one of those drop traps, and he falls in. And, oh, it's the Junior Campers, where, I forget the name of the episode, it's one of my favourite episodes, where Bart becomes basically a scout, and it's Borg 9. I could quote that episode so much, and I will, and he goes on their slushy bender. And Homer lands in there and goes, ooh, floor pie, or whatever. So dumb. Oh. I actually want to start quoting that episode now. I don't think Fox will come after me, but, oh man, I love The Simpsons. I think I've quoted The Simpsons a whole bunch in my videos and don't know if people often pick up on it. Precious Venus, that is the gummy convention. Oh, wow. My favourite part of that episode, and I quote this, and it makes absolutely no sense when I quote it, but is when he grabs the Pop Rocks and the can of soda and does that shh, see you in hell candy boys and throws it. And hilarious in itself, but the fact that it actually detonates and does this huge Michael Bay Hollywood explosion means the world to me. And in that episode as well, because Homer's been accused of SA, and it's the news thing and the clock in the background is going, I absolutely want to do that in one of my videos where they've just edited Homer's reply to an allegation and it's just going, wah, 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 the clock. And he goes, no, Mr. Simpson, no. What happened to the Blood Angels army? A very good question. And perfect timing. I didn't even stage that. But the next video that comes up will be the Blood Angels painting series. I'll chat about that because I want to paint my Blood Angels. Every single day I look at them and I go, ooh, I've got a whole bunch of models that I really want to do. And it's been probably my most successful painting videos on the channel. And there's a huge demand for it. My fear is that if I just keep going back to the well this early on and only making the Blood Angels videos, that I'll start to isolate everyone else, I guess. That it'll be me spitting out Blood Angels videos and I'll just keep attracting people that just want to see Blood Angels videos. So then the channel growth might be hindered by the fact that I will then put up a video that's not Blood Angels. And everyone will just leave because they'll go, hey, we're only here for the Blood Angels. So I'm trying to be crafty with it and slowly introduce a video maybe every 4 or 5 videos for the Blood Angels to satisfy all of those that are here for Blood Angels, but also to make sure that my channel isn't just Warhammer 40k, it isn't just Blood Angels. So we're doing Age of Sigmar. I've painted some 30k. I'll step outside the hobby. I've done Judge Dredd and things like that. Mike, have you thought about any 30k Blood Angels? Not yet. The next video I put up is 40k Blood Angels, but it's a little different. We've seen me do red and stipple red, and we've seen me do black. So the teaser for the next one is, it is still Blood Angels, but I'm going to try and freshen it up and expand on the Blood Angels a little with my painting. More salamanders. I had no idea how much hype there was going to be for the salamanders. Because I got the odd comment here and there saying, hey, salamanders win. And I thought, fine, everything lined up beautifully to be able to make that last ultimate guide with Daka Store. So they'd reached out as well and said some nice things about the channel, which flattery will get you everywhere with me. Even if you're lying, if you just pretend, I will be hooked. So they said nice things about the channel. They had awesome looking models. And I thought, hey, that could be a really cool opportunity to now paint salamanders for the channel. Whoop, don't mind me. I'm just working out where this guy's going to go. In fact, I'll even cut to the camera that isn't just my face to take some of the pressure off. It works! So yeah, and that was a really cool opportunity to be able to paint salamanders, or hashtag not salamanders, but very close. And the response was amazing, because I have no idea when a video's going to perform well or perform poorly, but the fact that so many of you guys and girls in the comments were letting me know that you were hanging out for a salamanders video is really cool. And I got the feeling from the comments and the people who were commenting is that salamanders are a really popular army to have as a second or third or fourth army, that maybe because they're seen as the good guys in the Imperium and painting green is fun and it's going to be variety from whatever else you've been working on, that salamanders are a really cool option just to mix it up for people. I certainly liked it. Yeah, those ultimate guides can feel like that is sort of repeating the same process over and over, where I just go, hey, here's a type of something, let me do 5 versions of it. But just saying, all right, I'm going to explore green and nothing but green. It was really cool. What number am I looking for? I'm looking for 28. Stop distracting me, you guys, as I go back up. Small detail. Oh, you like the Judge Dredd video? Thank you. I think my favourite part of making that video was Gordon putting together his narrative. So, for anyone who hasn't seen it, I'll give you a very quick rundown on it. But put together a Judge Dredd universe diorama. I'd made a guide to speed painting the minis. Then I think we had even played 1 or 2 scenario games. So just tabletop playthroughs of us rolling dice, cracking jokes, putting on really bad Judge Dredd impressions. And then we decided to make a diorama because shout out to Warlord Games. They sent us a whole bunch of products to have a look at, which is just a fancy way of saying Judge Dredd toys. And rather than just painting them over and over, I wanted to try something a little different and made a diorama. And it's set in the Cursed Earth, which is picture outside a hive city on Necromunda. So that just nomads, waste, ash waste, nomads, land, whatever going on. Very Mad Max. And I pitched it to Gordon, who had done a little bit for the channel in the way of featuring in videos. But I said, do you want to step it up a bit and put together a narrative story for me? And his story goes for a good 5 or 10 minutes using the models. And then I built and painted a diorama based off that. Oh, hello, Wolvencraft. Bedtime. Is that bedtime for you and you're out of here? If it is, thank you so much for joining us. And so we had this Cursed Earth diorama with Gordon's narrative, and then we each recorded these terrible voices for it. I tried to do, what's his name? It's like Skeeter or Scooter or something from Borderlands, where it's like, oh no, it's Judge Dredd, like that sort of voice. And then the Judge Dredd voice. Sorry, I won't do any more of those, especially because I'll lose my voice doing Judge Dredd. But that was really cool. And it's a perfect segue to talk more about Gordon. So, Gordon and I have been mates for a solid 20 years now. Which makes me sound old, so I'll change it. Gordon and I have been friends for about 5 or 10 years. But yeah, we've been mates for ages. We've done all our hobby stuff together. And as we've grown up, we've got married, had kids. As in, not he and I. Although, that would be pretty cool. I doubled my wardrobe because we're about the same build. But we've never lived really close to each other, but we've always managed to organise hangouts and catch-ups, and then just a lot of indirect hobbying by catching up online and playing games. Judge Dredd voice would totally kill the voice box. It does, which is why I try and get Gordon to do it. He does an amazing, Inspector Claw, raspy, next time gadget. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, I filmed that, and the voice I did for Dredd, I only did about a minute or 2 worth of recording, and then had to have a day off because I killed my voice. Lesson learnt for next time. Now, there are lots of tiny little bits for the bug next. I'll show you guys here. So the only progress I've made, and I'm not even upset about it because I'm having fun, is this section. Next is all these tiny little bits that we'll add on to make our bug look pretty. I was thinking about how I'm going to paint them as well. There's lots of jewels and just items from the land that make this bug look pretty. But we might jump ahead a little and do more of the thorax, abdomen, beetle body. Beetle body, I believe, is the technical term. But I didn't want to try and use big fancy words. So yeah, Gordo and I have been mates for ages. And the next project we're trying to work on together is the podcast. So I've absolutely got to plug the podcast today. Progress update is we have recorded our first episodes. The way it's going to work... So when I say podcast, I think immediately that probably comes to mind for everyone is me sitting around talking about painting and hobbying and all of that. But that's not what it's going to be. I'm going to use... I believe my camera just died again. See if that fixes it. We're going to use the streams as an opportunity for me to hang out with you all and chat hobbying. And that way, it's not one way of me just speaking into a microphone, you listen to it later, and it's me going, hey, I'm working on this. What are you guys working on? And you can't even tell me. Instead, the podcast is going to be single-shot RPGs, so role-playing games, which I have limited experience in. Gordon has a whole bunch, as well as our other mates that I'll introduce you to shortly. And we take a single-shot RPG. Let's say it's a Warhammer 40k one. There's a 40k RPG system called Only War that we'll be playing at some point. And we sit around the table, we play that as a group of mates, we break it down into 1 hour long sessions, and then create episodes off the back of that. And what piece do I want next? I want 25. What a cool looking piece of beetle. So we've recorded the first complete RPG, which was 2 episodes, so 2 1 hour sessions. The theme for that, the game is called Crash Pandas. So it is the illegal street racing scene in Los Angeles. And we are basically 3 raccoons in a trench coat partaking in this Need for Speed underground style street race. Gordon is the DM. Myself, Wegs and Fitz are the players. So the first episode is as you'd expect. We introduce our characters, a bit of backstory, and then we jump straight in. And then episode 2 is just picking up where we left off. We'll have set sort of checkpoints at the 1 hour mark. Jack, enjoy. Oh, look, a bug. Yes, we have a bug today. I don't have a link for... Oh, I will when it gets closer. So we've recorded those first 2 episodes. But what I thought I'd do is similar to what I did with the channel, which is that we have a couple in the bank so that I can upload 3 or 4 on day 1. That way, if you enjoy it, you've got something else to listen to straight away. And it's not just, hey, that first episode was kind of fun and now there's nothing for a week. So it'll start with 3 or 4 episodes and then come out weekly. And yeah, Crash Pandas is first. We've recorded that. We had so much fun. It went really well. The editing is now complete for it. So I sat down and just did a whole bunch of audio editing, which listening to your own voice back for a couple of hours, and then because you listen through multiple times to fix things, I hate all of the little quirks I have, or and then you start to hate each other. We all do the same thing. Like I might say before I start talking, or I go all right, or perfect. And listening to that over and over, I'm like, oh man. But, whole lot of fun. So, yes, episodes 1 and 2 are complete, and that covers the raccoons in the illegal street racing scene. A lot of Hollywood references on films, a lot of Simpsons references, a lot of banter is what you can expect from it. Gordon gives us homework between episodes. The homework for the first RPG, because it's very goofy and silly and has that 90s, 2000s feel to it, the homework we had was each of us needed to create a 90s style commercial. That obviously not for a real product. We put it together. We then present as like a table read. Everything is audio only for the podcast. I just don't have the tech and the time to edit to do video as well. But this particular bit, the table read for the commercials, is video, and that's a way of making a patron exclusive for all the patron members, and probably the Discord members to start with as well, because you guys are so amazing. And yeah, so we sit around, we read our commercials, we make each other laugh and get stupid reactions because we had no idea what was coming. And then those commercials end up being in the podcast to break up the action. So I've edited those videos, and the other video to go with it is just a intro from Gordon with a pretty background in the set to let you know what Crash Pandas is all about. Similar to what I've done, but obviously way more thematic and interesting because it's Gordon. And then we get stuck straight into the game. So in terms of a release, we're looking at recording on Friday this week to record the 40k episodes. Then I'll need probably a week to edit those. I'm on leave, so I'm away from work at the moment, which gives me plenty more hobby time. There's our beetle, and I might do that thing where I cut to camera and then zoom in a little. Show you how cool this is going to be to paint. So we were talking about color shift paints before, and how awesome that would look on the black carapace of the beetle. But I'm also thinking how much fun this would be to edge highlight and glaze or color blend with the airbrush or something like that. So I will give it some thought over the next day or two, and I'll listen to what you guys recommend as I go. So yeah, realistically, I think in the next week or two, the podcast will launch. And you'll have Crash Pandas, you'll have a 40k one. I was mindful that, like, we all love 40k, not only here in the chat, but my mates and I. So we wanted to make one, but also setting the tone with a goofy raccoon podcast was very important as well. Good Lord, I can't listen to my own voice. Isn't it tough? When I'm editing my videos, I will get the audio in there and usually mute that whole track. So then I can just edit the video without hearing me, like, making goofy jokes. And my wife will sit in the next room and there'll be some horrible joke like me bursting into flames in the Salamanders video, or me doing corporate mic or something like that. And I can hear my wife in the next room over just be like, ugh. So I'm like, oh no, mute, and then keep editing. All right, beetle body. I need all these little bits, which are numbered 34. Let's find them. There they are. These are tiny. These are the bits I'm going to break on stream, and you guys are going to laugh at me. Or they'll fly off and disappear into the carpet and go to the vacuum gods. The Roomba gods. So yeah, I will post a whole bunch of stuff in the Discord, on Patreon, sorry, and like the YouTube community posts. I'll put one up each as the podcast approaches. But over the next week, regardless, I'll share those videos that I've edited to get some hype up and let you guys know more information about what the podcast will be about. Good luck, Black Sword. Tell him I said hi. Oh, what does my wife think about it? That's a really good question, because my wife is not in the hobby at all. And there's plenty of people in here that will have their husband, wife, partner, significant other that join the hobby with them. Or that you do that thing along the way where they go, hey, that beetle looks pretty cool. And you go, you're right, the beetle does look cool. How about I get you one and build it, and you just paint a little. So I hooked my kids into the hobby really easily, because anything Dad does, they want to be a part of, because they just want to hang out. So playing board games, painting minis was a really easy sell to spend time with them. But my wife thinks it's incredibly dorky. So she's cool. She's got cool friends. And outside of the hobby, I don't want to say like manly things, like the hobby isn't manly, but I do a lot of outdoor stuff. So I explore, I go trekking, I do adventure things like that. So it was, I guess, a bit of a shock to her that I suddenly went, hey, I want to paint models. And I can chat today about how I got into the hobby, because I played and painted as a kid, and then stepped away for a good 15 to 20 years, and then got back into it. But yeah, my wife, as much as I make it sound like she's paying me out, she's incredibly supportive because of all the benefits that come with the hobby. Like, for example, I was up early today, taking the dog for a walk, getting the kids ready for school, and then chilling out to stream. So I've done a whole bunch of fitness, as I try not to break this part of the model. And then, of all the hobbies I could possibly have, this is a really healthy hobby that I just sit down and paint. Or I build something. I work on a diorama. So I try and do all the stuff around the house as well. So I'll stream for an hour or two now, and then I'll do a whole bunch of chores so she gets home to a nice, pretty, clean house. But yeah, then when she, at the end of the day, I guess, thinks about my husband was painting minis and streaming or whatever. But he's super happy and relaxed, and it didn't cost us any money. I wasn't out doing dumb stuff. So, yeah. She's, incredibly supportive. She doesn't tell her friends I do this, obviously. I get a few digs about my war dollies as well, yes. And I think it's a fun thing for them to politely have a jab at us about. But I expect each of them would agree that it is a healthy hobby. Now, I'm just working out where I'm going to... All of these... I'll show you the instructions so you don't think I'm crazy. Over here, we're tackling. So this is tiny little upside down jewels, which will then become the right way up, dangling, out of the bug's belly. A whole bunch of decorations for him. But yeah, my wife is awesome. That in the evening when the kids go to bed, she'll chill, watch a TV show, I'll be painting, and we sort of hang out, but hobby hang out. All right, Mr. Bug, you come here. Oh, and I was talking about how I got back into the hobby. So I mentioned that, as a young teenager, like early high school, which for overseas viewers is probably the age of 8 to 12. Oh no, early high school I said. So that'd be like 12 to 14, 15. A couple of mates and I were into Warhammer. And I say Warhammer, I was really into playing board games. That I was happy as a kid just to be able to hang out on my own, play a board game. And even if it wasn't a solo board game, I'd sort of just create my own rules, chill on my own and be happy and play away. And so as part of that, I came into possession of some secondhand Warhammer and was just like, this is the coolest ever. Space Marines and stuff like that. So I obviously wanted to paint and play that. And then as I got a bit older and you get interested in different things, stepped away and didn't come back to it until only a few years ago. So maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago, got back into it. And that was through work. So I work full time and where I was working at that particular point, 7 or 8 years ago, was a really tough job. Not tough physically, even though there was really long hours and stuff like that. It was really tough mentally. And it was a job that involved exposure to trauma and stuff like that. And a lot of my friends at work were having that proper burnout where if they didn't have a really good strategy to be able to manage their mental health, then they found that they weren't able to work anymore. And being a younger dude in that role, I thought, if I'm going to be able to do this long term, then I need to have a plan in place to look after myself. And I was searching for all different things, and fitness was the easiest one because you just go, hey, I'll go for a long run and I'll feel better and I'll go to the gym. So that worked, and that worked for a while. And then through my work, I came across someone in traumatic circumstances, but they collected and painted Warhammer. And as a gift for them, I wanted to buy a Warhammer model, learn to paint it, wrap it all up and give it to them as a cheeky little gift. So I did that, and it took me about 6 months to a year to do. And this person I was going to keep interacting with over that course of time. So I knew I had time on my side. So I'd watch YouTube videos, and I started with a Forge World Leviathan Dreadnought. So imagine that's the first ever model that you pick up in the hobby. That's what I got. I watched all these videos on how to paint it. I think it's one of my first Instagram photos because I ended up putting it up just to be like, hey, this is one of the first models I painted. And so I did that. And then by the end of that 6 months or so that it took me to put this together and paint it and gift it to them, I saw how much it meant to them. And then I realized how much it meant to me to be able to sit down, relax, not think about work, and instead concentrate on something creative. So yeah, it got to the end of that. And my wife was like, I think you should probably just buy another model and keep painting. And so I did. And then it just spiraled into this. So after about 3 or 4 years of painting and painting for other people, I decided to start making these cheeky little videos. And it didn't take me long, as you've probably twigged, to keep painting for people, which is why I love this VIP painting commission series. That's not a Chaos Knight. Hello, Tiny. It is not. My understanding was you were unavailable, so I took the opportunity to start a project that was not a Chaos Knight for you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So for everyone else in the chat, if you haven't spoken to him before, Tiny is one of the channel supporters, an amazing person, does a lot for the community in New Zealand, puts together not only 40k tournaments, but organises the charities that go with them, and does a lot of amazing work to raise money for different organisations in New Zealand. So Tiny, you're amazing, and Tiny used to always give me grief about he wanted a Chaos Knight painted for the channel, and said that if ever he won the competition, he was going to pick a Chaos Knight that I had to paint. So that must have been about a year ago, surely, that I caved. Don't mind me, I'm looking for piece number 48, and I found it. So I caved and painted a Chaos Knight in Tiny's paint scheme, loosely, and sent it across the pond to him. So I hope you like it, mate. The highlight for me was seeing you field it in tournaments, which is so cool. And it was accompanied with some channel dice and things like that. Apparently my dice roll really hot, and you're welcome. And that was some of my delicious sarcasm. I will never be accused of having loaded dice, because whatever happened with the mold for the channel dice, they are incredible at rolling ones. So if you're playing a game that needs a leadership test, you're welcome. But for everything else, you're going to miss. Alright, we're on to bug legs. And if Age of Sigmar is anything like our world, I'm tipping this bug's going to have 6 legs with mold lines and everything else. Project. Yes, you're right. I do talk about starting a project. And I guess that's a way of me trying to make it sound more official than it needs to be. Or if I'm speaking to my wife and saying that I need to work on this, I'm like, love, I got a project on the table. I'm a busy man. But if I'm like, I need to paint a model, she'll be like, that can wait. Can't wait, baby. It's very important. I love that you don't like the dice. No regrets. What was I talking about? Something about the podcast. I was chatting to someone about what cameras to use in their streaming or in their model painting. You guys give me another topic, or I will find another topic for you. Oh, you're still at work and you're just sneaking on. Tiny, I love it. I appreciate it. If you get caught, your boss will understand. And there's a good chance your boss knows me, so they might jump on as well. It's one of my favourite things to do at the moment, because I appreciate that no one in the hobby knows me. But I'll have a mate that'll be like, oh, I'm just picking up some paint supplies from location X, whatever their store is. Just to be a pain, I'll be like, oh my god, location X, did you know that they support the channel? And then whatever I need to say to them to convince them of, oh yeah, just mention my name, just mention Flashing Badger at the counter, and you'll get 10% off. Lovely people, say hi to Dave for me. And inevitably get a text like 10 minutes later saying, I hate you. And I just want to then ring the store and ask how that interaction went, because I bet it was awkward and hilarious. Oh, what's an out-of-production miniature you'd love to paint? An old model you'd love to experience painting again for the first time? That is really cool. I'd have to go all the way back to when I was a kid. I'm trying to think. One of my favourites was every time I go into the GW store. Also, why am I struggling so much with this piece of the model? I bet you I've cut the wrong part out. Alright, I'm going to look at it. They go that way. This goes... That's probably why. I think I'm trying to do it backwards. Goes up and around. Yeah, when I go in... Yay! That looks better. when I go into the store, I loved the Vindicator tank. It was so simple, but such a cool model. You had all these different looking tanks, and then there was one with just a huge cannon on the front. So, repainting something that I had as a kid, even though I didn't have that model. And I know a lot of channels do that and a lot of hobbyists do it, but they do it for good reason, because it feels good. Like, just find a model that you had or always wanted to have as a kid and do that. So, yeah, maybe one of those. I had models like Dante and Tycho. Was it Tycho? Oh god, I probably got that wrong. But yeah, and I never really painted them properly, so that'd be cool to go, hey, I'm going to get my hands on that model and actually invest in trying to paint it really nicely. We're an hour into the stream and I've built like a piece of beetle, whoop, as I break a bit, and a leg. You can see how easily I get distracted. Which is why, when I normally do this, I cut myself off from the rest of the world and try and focus. Alright, beetle leg. You can go over there. So that'd be something interesting to paint. Are you seriously going to be putting together 3 Vindicators, Tiny? That's unreal. And will they be Imperial Fists? I think that's what you're working on. Alright, what is my next leg? 49 and 50. For anyone who wasn't here at the start of the stream, get a load of the size of that base. Tiny will be able to tell you, based off just that, exactly what size that was. But yeah, that is massive. There's my beetle leg. So, I'm going to have to think about how I post this to Tim, because he's on the opposite side of the globe, and the package is going to get drop-kicked by several different handlers. So I might even paint it all up, but not have her on the back of the beetle, for example, and just do a few bits in sub-assembly that Tim can put together on the other side. And he wants a great big beautiful base for it, which sounds amazing, and I have to think about how I'm going to do that. It sounds like this should be spread across 3 or 4 videos. But I'm going to try my luck and have this as one video. It'll all be about this week and how much progress I can make. So I mentioned it's been, in fact, 140 by 140. He's good. I think it's 150. Jeez, you are out of control, Tiny. Yeah, it has been just over a year since I last had a stream. It was November 2023, which is madness. And I had a quick cheeky peek to get an idea of where the channel was at that time. We were 10,000 subscribers, which was really cool. Hello. If my pooch comes around, I'll see if I can lift her up and get her some airtime. But yeah, 10,000 subscribers. The stream that day had about 450 views, which is madness. I must have hyped it heaps in the lead up. For people to know that it was coming. But that was really, really special. And my goal this year is to stream more often. It is tricky because it's the camera, it's the webcam, it's the microphone, it's the overhead stuff, and it's the software that's a bit finicky that I struggle with. And a lot of the projects, a lot of the models that I'm painting end up being a surprise for someone. So, for example, if Tim had said to me, pick any model and surprise me and post it, well, then I wouldn't be able to do this stream. Oh, if you hear my dog squeaking, she's trying to get my attention on the other side of the green screen. You can come round. You may come. In the bed. Come on. In. No. I think it's too hot, and so she's just going to crack it at me today. Which is a good thing that we got our walk-in so early. But she's certainly unimpressed with the weather. Was after piece 50. There it is. Hello, how are you? You gonna say hi? You gonna say hi up here? No, in your bed. Alright. Good girl. She's featured in a few of our videos if you haven't met her before. Gidget. There's one where she chases me around the backyard and barks at me. And there's one where I'm trying to skip on a skipping rope for some terrible joke. And again, she's barking at me. So you get an idea. Oh, she's playing with the green screen. Get ready for it all to come down. If it does, I'll like cut to commercial or something so that you don't see how messy the rest of my study is. Hello. Hi. Do you reckon you can hop up? No, I don't think you can. Yeah. Hello. Hi. Your head is just out of camera. Hello. You want to see if you can stand up? 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3, up. Oh, here she is. Good girl. Good girl, sweetheart. Yeah, I know. How about you come around this side? Yep, I knew she was going to try and distract me this morning, which is why we took her for a big zoom. We'll see how much time she gives me before she really cracks it. But I can't control the weather gadget. Where were we? Yeah, so if I was painting a surprise for Tim, I wouldn't be able to do the stream. And when I look back at most of my videos recently, they've all been a surprise of some sort. It might be that I'm pairing up with that Kickstarter company and so I don't want to release it too early. Or, like in that one as well, Stan Man Me, I wanted to give the models to. And so if he twigged early on and saw that I was painting salamanders, I think the jig would have been up. Gizmo says he would love to meet her. Oh, Gizmo is the official channel mascot. So Gizmo is a corgi. I won't give away too much info, but Gizmo is sort of the brains behind the scenes. That is Prince of Crow's puppy. And so whenever we have legal matters or corporate advice that is required, we often go to Gizmo, or we get a photo reaction from Gizmo, which helps dictate the path of the channel. So big shout out to Gizmo. And in our Discord we have the pet wall. So there's a channel dedicated just to photos of our pets, which is probably my favorite. I see the little icon on the side to be like, there's a new message, and I'm like, to the pet channel. And it's not limited to pooches. I believe, is it Mosasaurus has a horse, which is unreal, or multiple horses. There's plenty of cats. I've seen a turtle recently. I love it. Tiny's been busted already. If you do need to go, mate, no issue at all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I gave you, I think, 10 minutes notice that there'd be a stream, so I'm surprised you were able to make it. I'm going to pick the next leg. All of these look the same. Obviously, they're 6 beetle legs. But, alright, I meant to glue these in place. Let's do that, otherwise I'll lose track of what leg is what. So we've got beetle body. Ooh. Am I looking at the wrong piece? I am, because I need piece number 27 first, which should look like a saddle. There it is. Let me see. Neil, thank you so much for hanging out with me, mate. And I'm glad that the model finally arrived. So the last painting commission back in September, I think I posted the Tau Commander across the world to Neil. And frustratingly, it got sent all the way back to me because they delivered it to Ireland when it should have gone to the UK. And so it came all the way back to me, and then I sent it again in November. But unfortunately, the post office made an error with the labels, and so it came all the way back to me again recently. So for the 3rd time posting it to the other side of the world, it finally arrived. I'm worried that the Tim Tams were probably expired given that I initially sent it in September. But it is so cool to know that it finally arrived, so the model can sit on your shelf. That's really cool. Oh, I won't be streaming in 2 hours. I'm already losing my voice. It's just talking, and apparently that's going to make me croaky. All right. I'll tidy this bit up. What else have I got for you to chat about as well? I guess what's coming up, we mentioned the Blood Angels before. So the next video, which has already been finished in editing because I'm on leave and I've got plenty of time to do all my channel work. So that one is ready to go and will be up in just under 2 weeks' time. Outside of that, I want to do another Judge Dredd diorama. This model will obviously be next. But yeah, we've got Gordon and I teaming up again to do an inner city Judge Dredd diorama. Narrative themed again. So Gordon will be telling the story while I build and paint. And I want to do like a great big highway chase. So I have like this overpass with the like Dredd enforcement bikes zooming around, explosions, LEDs. It'll be a lot of work. And the Judge Dredd videos aren't as popular because it's not Warhammer 40k. VT, thank you so much. I will chat to you soon, mate. I'll let you know how I go with the bug. And yeah, see this really cool Judge Dredd diorama come to life. And it'd be nice because Warlord Games have also supported me heaps. So to be able to send something their way as well in terms of content, that'd be really cool. All right. So that's not a saddle at all because that's the belly of the bug. I'm not a clever man. But we have piece number 47, which was one leg. And where is that pointing? All the way at the back. It looks like that will go. But then that would have it facing backwards. So that's not right. So it's got to be the other way. Triangle. It does. It has it facing that way, but surely that doesn't make sense. Unless this beetle's meant to have 2 legs facing back. I will check my notes. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. It does. It looks like 2 legs facing back, 2 to the side, and 2 forward. Cool. I'm not normally this bad at building a model, but I think I'm just rattled because it's recording. But I'll dry fit them first and take a look. The handy bit is, I think they're the only way the pieces go in. So it'll have 2 legs backwards, 2 out to the side, and then whatever it needs up front. Happy with that. Let's do it. And is anyone else hobbying at the moment? I believe it's late night in the US, and it should be, is it like early afternoon or approaching dinner time in the UK? So has anyone got, I got you backwards right here. And yes, true, Tim Tams are still great, even expired. Pro tip, dunk them into a cup of tea. That sounds so British of me. Dunk them into a warm cocoa. You do you. But dunk them into something and they're even more delicious. 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, that's perfect. It's almost like I planned this. Hope you guys appreciate that I do early morning streams when I'm wrecked. So that it's at a more favourable hour for you. And this is cute. Gidget underneath is now just resting her head on my leg to let me know she's here. 6 freedom o'clock, just walked in the door. That's amazing. Welcome home. How was work? Did you get milk? Did you remember to pick up bread? There's our beetle. Huge progress. Hello, it's me, Beetle. All right, let's move Beetle over there. And let's pick our next piece. Looking. Another leg. Sure. 43 and 44. I wonder if I should leave some of these legs off to make it easier to paint. I might try that as well, because I haven't considered actually painting this model, because most of my brain power is going to chatting to you guys and then some to painting or building the model. I'm surprised I haven't got myself with the X-Acto knife yet. 43 and 44. Camera, come back. Tim Tam slams in coffee. Yes. Welcome back, Blacksword. Let me bring you up to speed on everything you missed. I managed to lift Gidget up to the camera to show her off to everyone. And we've been chatting about what's to come on the channel, and I'll chat more about that in a second, but we're currently distracted talking about Tim Tams. And my dog is huffing at me under the table. I'm going to pretend I can't hear her now. Where's piece 44? It should be another claw. There it is. And you guys are telling me about your hobby stuff as well. Late night badger streams. Yeah, I could probably do that. And I might even try that tomorrow. That'll be enough time for me to be able to build the model, prime the model. Maybe if I'm airbrushing, get some of that done. And then it'd be really cool to sit down and paint maybe the carapace of the bug. If I've managed to get some blending down and then shift over to highlights, decorations, things like that. It'll need me to concentrate, but it should be a little more exciting than looking at grey plastic. But the thing I need to remind myself is if I have an opportunity to jump on with you guys, then I probably should. Even if I go, oh, it's not very exciting, I'm building bug legs, then just hang out. You guys do so much for me with your support in Patreon and the Discord. So if I can get all this set up, even if it's only for an hour, then do it. Yes, I know. Oh, milk, bread, and pizza, the Holy Trinity. I bet you were popular walking back through the door. Yeah, cool. And yeah, so if I chip away at things during the day and then put the kids to bed and the wife and I watch a show and then she loses interest in me and goes to reading her book, then I could definitely jump online and do a stream. So that'd be like that sort of 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Aussie time. And if you're minus 17 hours, I'll let you do the math. This model's actually really cool. I was so nervous when Tim picked it out, but as I'm cutting everything out, I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. It's going to take me ages, but I've got time while I'm on leave. So at some point, I'll stop complaining. Austin's finished work. But Printer Crows, you work some crazy hours, is my understanding. That you work long days. There's a few of you that do. Like, you put in an insane amount of hours in a week. So, I have huge respect for you. Because I'm lucky, I only need to do 8, 9, or 10 hour days. And then this isn't work on the side for me. If ever it feels like work, I'll probably stop. But I then get to come home and have fun and just do this. So I appreciate that not only do you guys work some crazy hours, but you do it in tough conditions as well. That you get snow, you get proper cold, you get lots of heat, you get crazy winds where some of you live. So yeah, challenging. Another leg down as I shift across to... Now see, if I were to glue this in place, I think I'd struggle to access a lot of my bug. So Yeah, so if I put that in place now, it's not end of the world. They're so amazing at designing their models. But now I'm starting to clutter under the belly. And when I'm reaching into paint, I don't want to be bumping leg to leg to leg. So this is underside of the model. You can get away with a few mistakes or just pushing through. But I'm going to leave it off. It's the fear. Like, giving these models to someone else means that I pretty much don't take shortcuts. Because I go, first thing Tim will do is he'll grab it, lift it over and go, didn't worry about the belly, Mike. Like, oh no. So, first leg off. And now I'll build the second leg. And Tim's in the chat. I think I knew that. But also, hi. 6 days a week through winter, then 7 straight every third week. See, that's madness. As in, amazing. Good on you for doing it. And supporting your family like that. That is so cool. I'm very fortunate that I'm not putting in that many hours at work. I have days that are crazy, where unexpectedly I'll be on overtime. And that used to happen a lot more in the past. That I could even just get a phone call at home and say, 0 notice, we need you to go to location X and start working. And then I'd just be unavailable for the next 3, 4, 5 days. I wouldn't be able to do really anything other than be on the phone occasionally to help out my wife. So she was amazing and did so much of the work around home and looking after the tiny humans when they were proper small, while I invested a lot in work. So my new role at the moment means that I don't get those phone calls at home and I don't put in the same amount of hours. Which is ideal for a YouTube channel. Yow. Here we go, 46. Don't mind me, I'm just reading back through the chat. Very good. What have I got for you next? Videos that are upcoming on the channel. I mentioned Blood Angels, Judge Dredd, more streaming, more VIP videos. You're all part of the Discord, and so you'll know that we're verging on having a backlog. That Vidar won in, what was before December, November, so the October competition. And we're waiting on his model to turn up, and he's been very patient waiting for me. Tim won the December big competition. And now we're underway with the Feb comp already. So that's just started. And if anyone here isn't in the Discord and you want to come be a part of whatever this is, join the Discord. You'll see in there is the painting channel, the painting competition. And it's as simple as you pick out a model that you'd like to paint for the week from your own backlog or something that you've just been itching to paint. You have the whole month to paint it, and then you enter your model at the end of the month. We spin the wheel and someone is chosen at random and you win prizes and they get sent to you. How cool is that? But the theme for the Feb month as well is memes. So if you've got a 40k meme or even a meme outside of 40k, oh, awesome. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for hanging around. It is the best Discord community, but I'm a little biased as well. Yeah, so a lot of people are picking memes. It's an optional theme that you can do for your miniature. So like the Spider-Man meme of the Marines all pointing at each other. And so pretty soon, if I don't get onto this one early enough for Tim, I'll have 3 that I need to catch up on. They are so much fun to make though, which is a positive because every time one of the models turns up and I get to start on it, it's so cool, like this one. And everyone thus far has picked out really entertaining models. for me to paint, but also for the channel to have something different. And then you pick styles that test me. We've had the comic book style. And then painting the bust of Horus with the OSL, like from the inside, the glowing red. Like, that's so cool. And I think I've had the exact same conversation with everyone, where I'm like, I really like the idea, but I just don't know if I could pull it off. And then you give me a whole bunch of support. I give it a go. We make a video. And then random people I don't know give me grief. I think I shared it the other day, but there's a comment on one of the Horus videos where it just says something like, amateur paint job 6 out of 10. Which, they're not wrong. I'm not a great painter, but also brutal. Oh yeah. Do you or your mates future-proof your armies with magnetizing weapon loadouts? I do. I haven't done it in 1 or 2 of my Blood Angels videos. And people are like, oh my god, what are you doing? You need to future-proof them. And I definitely should have for like the Death Company, because they're all equipped with Thunder Hammers, which they now can't have. But yeah, so like for my Tyranids, the first one that comes to mind are the Carnifex. I think I made 8 in one batch. And all of them are magnetized. And with Carnifex, you think there's Scything Talons, there's Barb Strangler, like ranged weaponry. There's all manner of things. And so I'd have all my bugs laid out and then just limbs. So I wouldn't be able to do that for like a channel video because, oh my, can you imagine watching me paint like 80 limbs? Oh, hello, darling. Yeah, so I do. I future-proof with magnets. I didn't for the Death Company, and I should have, but we were on holiday when I painted them. That's right. We went away as a family, and I took my paint set up with me, but I didn't have any magnets or anything. Now, my dog is considering push-kicking the green screen, so get ready for it all to come down. You're getting a teddy. You take your teddy. Good girl. All right. I think while all that was happening, I put together another limb, and that's looking pretty good. Ooh, ooh. Every time I go to pick this piece up, I knock these little bits. So I'm going to have to give those time to set and not tinker with it too much. Mel, I was the same. I was thinking if someone gives me a style and I've only got 2 weeks to paint it, film it, put together a video, that I'd really struggle. But at least for me, I've found that it's been really helpful to complete a model or to complete a project or to complete a task, having that deadline where I say, well, no matter what, it needs to be finished. So it helps me time manage a little better. Oh, cool. So the next step would be to connect these parts. So these amazing looking like rhino beetle, stag beetle style front to our model. And then this piece presumably will clip in, unless I've got something wrong. Aha, so these are underneath. We go that way? Why am I so terrible with this? Oh no, like this. So we must be missing a piece here. And that will treat it like a shoulder, like ball and socket joint. So let's go back, find out what piece I wasn't paying attention with. Which piece am I missing? I reckon, is it going to be 24? This great big piece here. Oh no, I've got that. Yeah, I reckon. Let's try that. I'll see what's on the sprue that is huge and carapace in. It means I've missed it. It is that piece. Right here. 24. Let's move some beetle parts out of the way. I'm just reading the chat again. I love a good roasting in my YouTube comments because it still reminds me that there's people on the other end and that not everyone in the hobby is going to like me. And I still reply to all of them because I think it helps remind them that there's a person on the other end of the videos as well. So when they're like, get good, your model's terrible, I'm like, sure, give me some pointers. And then they're like, oh, listen, sorry, man. Thank you, Mel. I think you're talking to me. I just quickly glanced at the chat. But yeah, I'm lucky that I feel like I'm always in the mood to paint, where I'm happy enough to sit down. And I've got space in my house where I can have a study set up just for my painting. And I say just for my painting, it's my computer. So online gaming or whatever we're doing. But then I have this little workbench that I basically can just put down and start painting. So I've got time, I've got the space, and I've got the toys to be able to do it. So I'm very lucky. Yeah, lure them into the Discord as extra channel members. I love it. All right, another piece of the model. Now, first of all, again, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. You can probably hear in the background, my dog is starting to crack it at me. So I'll paint for a little bit longer. I'll build the model for a little bit longer if I can. And then I'll jump off and I'll have to take it to the park again and see if we can get the last of the zooms out. But as I mentioned before, this was just perfect timing that this stream would come together today. My intention is still that over the next couple of days, we'll stream again. So maybe tomorrow, or maybe even one of the evenings. Hello, it's okay. And by that time, we should have our first, at least, primes going down on the model. And then when we hang out again, we're able to sit and paint. Certainly a lot more fun watching me paint something than just building. But it's been cool. And I'll think up some more topics to chat to you guys about as well. I had a little list of things I wanted to talk about, and then I think I tried to burn through them all too quickly. All right, as we show off what we've done on the model so far, I will use my left hand to pat my dog and see if that will help her calm down. Whoop. So, we have what will be the front of our beetle, and those awesome looking horns that I'm thinking dark colors, and Tim will remind me, I'll go back through our chat anyway, but I think it was going to be dark, like purples, greens and blues, something similar to that. Oh my god, don't you dare post me a Thunderhawk. I would cry. Unless it's in a very achievable scale. I wonder how big the channel would have to be before I'd actually have time and desire to put together a Thunderhawk gunship. It will be cool. I think I'd have to be full-time on the channel by then, and that's a very long way away. That beetle. And I built a couple of legs. How cool is that? Beetle is coming together nicely. And I feel like the stream has worked. The last couple of times I streamed, which was a few years ago, there was all kinds of issues either with sound or just the programs themselves and connecting cameras. It can be a real heartache to connect everything. But I feel like I've got it working today. So if you guys can start letting me know in chat if you're happy to, how it's all come through today. The video, the sound, the backdrop, whatever it might be. And then you can roast me on my actual content and what we've discussed. But production-wise, let me know if it's worked, because if it has, my goal will be just to sort of slightly move everything to the side, and then tomorrow bring it all back in and have most of it already set up. Thanks, Mel. That's good news that it's working there. And I've turned ads off. There's the option to have mid-stream ads, which I can't think of anything worse if you're watching a stream and suddenly it's just cutting to commercials. So you shouldn't be experiencing any of those, but YouTube always has that caveat of that they still can do whatever they like, essentially. So let me know if you've been getting ads. I do have them disabled, but I'll see if there's anything else I can do in the background to reduce them. Because Yeah, the stream isn't designed to make money. The stream is designed that we get to hang out and chat. And if you're at work and you get to sneak away for 5 minutes, amazing. And if it's before dinner or after dinner and we just chat hobby stuff, I'll become more relaxed as we do them. I had some prepared topics that I wanted to talk about today and did to force me into chatting in case the stream was empty. But thankfully you guys were here. But yeah, I think moving forward we'll probably chat a lot about what we're working on. I'll bring my model back so I've actually got something on screen. 0 out of 10 non-treats to puppy. I know! The poor thing is she's on a diet as well. I just bought all these pig's ears, these delicious like dried chicken treats and all these things. And they're in the cupboard and she's not allowed them. I think I put a photo up in the Discord and it is her with like paws out in front and just treats everywhere in the bags. Only to discover that, so she has health issues that we manage with medication and stuff like that, but the medication gives her an incredible appetite and she's not meant to be eating as much as I'm feeding her. So she still looks incredible and she's happy and healthy, but I need to manage how many treats I give her. So I'm sorry, Gidget. Thank you, Arjak. This is awesome. So I had planned to go for at least 1 hour, and if I got to 2, I'd be super excited. So we've almost done it. We're at about 1 hour 40. I will start to wrap it up here though, with the intention of getting the bug done today, priming. Tomorrow morning I think we'll get better weather. I won't be able to prime today because if it's about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 38 to 40 degrees here, then if I try and prime, you have that issue of the paint dries before it even hits the model and has that really dusty, scratchy sort of look to it. And if I'm considering colour shift paints or really smooth finish and glossy beetle, then I want to make sure the prime goes on nicely. Amazing. I'm just checking out the chat to see if there's anything I've missed. But my task for you is, if you guys are free for the next stream, is keep me entertained like you have today with whatever topics you can think of, and we'll chat about those. There's a few secrets I need to keep in terms of videos that are coming up because they're going to be surprises for people. Yeah, it's my favourite thing in the channel at the moment is looking for excuses to paint for you guys, because I've got all the models I could ever need. My wife has said no more cabinets in the man cave to display the models because we don't have room for them. So the best excuse then is paint a model and post it. And what good is a model doing for me sitting on my shelf? It's interesting, but it's so cool to think that it can travel the world and sit on your shelf. Provided you like it. If you don't, just post it to the next person and we'll find someone who does. Thank you so much, everyone. I think that's Will. I always forget with Wall Horses, but that should be Will. So thank you so much, mate. You guys have been wonderful. As soon as I hit launch on the stream, there was people in here waiting. So that is unreal. That's madness to think of. Every time I hit record, I'm like, be prepared. It'll be on 0 the whole time and you need to talk to yourself. Thank you all so much. I'll stop waffling now. And I look forward to... Ooh! Is the collab project being completed that we worked on? The collab project is completed, but I need to keep it secret. And that will be one of the next videos that comes out. So when that does come out, that's going to be huge. That'll be so exciting for someone in the Discord. But I won't give anything else away. Thank you all so much. Have an awesome day. You've been amazing. And I will jump on stream over the next day or two. We'll do it all again with some paints. Thanks so much, guys.